Hey guys, welcome back from the video. It's me, True Will. Today, we are starting on case 34, Dead Man Running. So yeah, I finally remembered to do my intro this time. And look how much energy I have. 1,275 over 110. Like, I am prepped for this. So yeah, guys, let's not waste any time and get straight into it. And we're back, folks. The Greensboro Quails are facing the Topeka Armadillos today in one of the toughest games this football season. Go Quails! This game particularly is decisive. The winning team will have a real shot at the end of the season bowl. Oh, here he is, Grimm College star quarterback Troy Takiguchi. First down for the Quails, and they're off. Wait, Takiguchi hasn't passed the ball. He's running straight for the end zone. Come on, Takiguchi. You're the best. I can't believe what I'm seeing. 40 yards, 30. Takiguchi is actually getting close. Look at him go. Come on, you can do it. The Armadillos are all around, rushing to catch him before the touchdown. But wait, no, Troy Takiguchi has fallen, only 5 yards from the line. No. He isn't getting up, nobody even touched him. The referees are calling a timeout, medics are rushing to Takiguchi. What's going on here, Will? The crowd is going wild. Let's get down to the field, we need to make sure everyone is safe. Moments later, down on the field. The stadium has been evacuated, Will. Regrettably, we have confirmation that Troy Takiguchi is dead. This is unbelievable. Someone of Troy's stamina and bulk. Some foul play is at work here. Let's gather some clues on the football field, Will. This is terrible. Takiguchi was a hero for the students at Greensboro University. He was too young to die. And have you seen his arm? It's completely swollen, about as wide around as a honey-baked ham. This can't be natural. Let's send Takiguchi's body over to Nathan. Hopefully he'll be able to explain everything. And in the meantime, we should have a look at the mouthguard you picked up next to the body. Whoever dropped it must have witnessed Troy's fall firsthand. We should go talk to Franklin Caldwell. He's the Greensboro Quails coach. He may have valuable info about our victim. Perfect as always, Will. The DNA you collected from the mouthguard you found next to the victim will tell us exactly who it belongs to. Let's give this DNA to Grace, straight away. This is such a mess. Losing my quarterback at the height of the football season, things couldn't get any worse. Coach, I understand this is bad for the team, but shouldn't the death of a player be more important than the loss of a football season? You'll have to excuse me, Captain Will. We all have our own way of dealing with grief. Of course, I'm deeply saddened about Troy's death. No man this young and so full of promise should have died. Was there anything wrong with Troy? Anything that could explain what happened to him? Not that I know of. I don't think he did much besides training for the games. Entering the major league was his dream. He put everything into it. Now, if you excuse me, Captain Will, I got a team of traumatized players to get back to. I know Coach Caldwell sounds pretty harsh, but he's a great coach, Will. He's always had his players' best interests at heart, and it pays off. Now, our victim was a football player, but he was a student at Greensboro University. First and foremost, you're right. The football players are all housed in the same dorm to enhance team building. Let's go check out our victim's room. Ah, an overload laundry basket. The staple of every student's room. If you want to have a look at it, you better plug your nose, Will. And I see you found the victim's laptop. Let's boot it up and see what we find. This football jersey obviously can't belong to our victim. The name isn't the right one. How did it end up in Taguchi's dorm room? The jersey's owner, Chad Baker, is also a member of the Grimsboro Quails, or to be more precise, he's their reserve quarterback. Taguchi has been the star quarterback, always coming to play at key moments for the team, which means Baker has spent a lot of time sitting on a bench. You're right, Will. Being left on the sidelines for so long, that could drive a guy to extremes. Let's go have a talk with Chad. Troy's laptop is what? Okay, Troy's laptop is asking for a password. Hold on, Will. I got this one. No, don't worry. Just let me do my thing. A, B, C, D. No. How about 1, 2, 3, 4? Jones, give me the dang laptop. Okay, I am now officially fed up with this, Will. Could you please have a go at cracking the password on this laptop, please? At least I got the last two right. Our victim's laptop had an extremely secure password, but you cracked it in an instant. Will, how did you do that? Seriously. By not pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, Jones. Let's send this laptop to the lab. I'm sure Alex would be happy to retrieve all the relevant data for us. Well, duh. Of course you're gonna find one of my jerseys in Troy's room. We were roommates. Oh, so you must have been pretty close. Nah, we weren't best buddies or anything. Coach just thought it would be cool for us to bunk together. Takiguchi was way ahead of you, wasn't he? You were a substitute quarterback, and he was getting all the glory. This must have been pretty frustrating. Rivalry's part of the game. Don't you go seeing anything weird about that. Me and Troy always put the team first. But his tragic death means you'll finally be able to play quarterback in the big games. Nice opportunity to finally shine. The victim's laptop was a pretty boring bundle of info, unless you love football. Nothing illegal that I could see, no threatening messages in his mailbox. The most noteworthy things are the photo albums. There are a lot of pictures of your victim hanging out with Madison Springer at parties, on picnics, after matches. Madison? You're talking about the head of the Psi Sigma Gamma sorority? I'm glad she's back, honestly. Yep, she's also the leader of the Quails cheerleaders. Ain't that fitting? Oh, she's one of those. She's the blonde, popular cheerleader captain kids that you see in movies. You know, I usually don't like those type of people, but because this is 2013, I'll let this one slide. The cheerleader and the quarterback, how deliciously cliche. I know, right, Jones? Let's go have a talk with Miss Madison, Will. You almost never send me DNA, Will. I feel like I should do a little celebration. Ahaha, very funny. So, did you find the owner of the mouthguard Will found next to our victim's body? Of course I did. Football players all have flies, so recruiters can easily... Did I just say flies? Yeah. Files. So recruiters can easily check that their records are clean. The mouthguard belongs to Thomas Bodecker? Thomas Bodecker? Wait, he's the quarterback of the Wipeka football team. They're the Quails' rival team, and Troy was playing against him on the field today. Let's go talk to him, Will. Hello, Madison. We were wondering if you could tell us more about all the pictures we have found of you and Troy Takiguchi. It's pretty obvious, isn't it, Major Will? Troy and I were dating. Wait, we're dating. That means you're single now. We're really sorry for your loss, Madison. Had you and Troy been dating long? About 6 months, I guess. We hooked up after the last match of the season last year, but I didn't see much of him during the summer. With him, it was always football before everything else. He spent his days training to be the best, and look where it's led him. I mean, to be fair, I think he has his priorities straight at least. Worst of all, we were supposed to go to the prom ball together. We would have looked so dashing, and now I'm dateless. I could fix that. And this is what's bothering you the most? I'm sorry, Major Will. I'm still under the shock of it all. Troy was a nice guy. I'll really miss him. So, you found my mouth guard next to Takiguchi's body. That's because I was hot in his heels after he managed to slip by my entire team. He had more speed and energy than humanly possible, but something was obviously wrong. His arm was bulging like crazy. I rushed to him once he fell, but it was pretty obvious he wasn't going to make it, huh? I don't think I'll ever forget the look on his face. You and Troy were rival quarterbacks. I'm guessing the antagonism between you two must have been pretty high. And having such a rival fall dead right during the biggest match of the season, it must have been like a blessing for you. Yeah, right. As if I would ever risk my career just to get rid of another player. I know what I'm worth. I could have crushed Troy without cheating. Listen, man, I have respect for Takiguchi. He was my only equal. Killing him, where would be the glory in that? Well, one thing is clear. Troy Taguchi's death on that football field was definitely not natural. No kidding, I didn't think a human arm could ever get this big. Yes, that got me curious too, especially when I noticed a needle mark on Troy's arm. So I had a look at his medical file. Your victim was a type 1 diabetic. He injected himself with insulin daily. Except today, there was a secret ingredient on top of the insulin. A massive dose of EPO. EPO? You mean doping hormones? Yes, but I'm positive Troy didn't know about the EPO. The tests are clear. He never taken EPO before, with good reason. You see, EPO and insulin don't mix. The injection created a blood clot, which traveled through the victim's arm up to his heart, and the resulting heart attack was fatal. So our victim was killed by EPO. That's a bit more ironic for a professional sportsman, don't you think, Will? Later at the police station. Well, I got good news. You remember the needle mark I found on your victim's arm? Well, I had a closer look at it. The area was a bit reddish, which didn't make sense. After all, your victim was used to injecting himself with insulin daily. Turns out Troy's skin got red because of traces of capsaicin, the substance that makes chili peppers so deliciously spicy. Obviously, he was allergic to it, which can only mean the killer left capsaicin on the syringe when they handled it, which means their killer eats spicy food. Major Will, sorry to interrupt, but something happened at the university. Whoa, Ramirez, calm down. What's going on? I need to catch my breath. The university just called for you. There's been a break-in. Major Will, the university just called. There's been a break-in in the infirmary. A break-in in the infirmary? What are the odds of such a thing happening right now after a student dies of an EPO injection? Troy only intended to inject himself with his daily insulin dose, but the killer added a lethal dose of EPO to the insulin. And where would Troy keep his medication? But in the university's infirmary. Let's go there, Will. Greensboro University. The infirmary is that way, according to the university's map. They put it near the football field because that's where students get injured the most. Hey look, Will, Chad Baker's training on the football field. I can't believe he's back on the field so soon after his teammate's death. Maybe we should go have a chat with him once more. We've had looked at the infirmary. What do you think? Back on the field already, Chad? You're not wasting any time, are you? I've been sitting on that bloody bench for months. Of course I'm on the field. I'll have to train my butt off to be in shape for the next match. Don't you go looking at me like that, Copper. I deserve that break. It's not like Troy was a perfect angel anyway. Just because he was famous, he treated everyone like crap, girlfriend included. Man, if I was dating a girl like Madison, you're darn sure I'd treat her right. That girl was sweet like sugar and hot like chili peppers. And I love me some spice, if you know what I mean.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, so you didn't just want Troy's position on the field. You also wanted a girl? You know, Chad, you can still confess. Get a reduced sentence. Yeah, right, I didn't kill Troy. Now I got to focus and get back to practice. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I'm watching you, Chad.
Well, the infirmary lock was clearly focused, Will. Let's have a look around. Look at this mess. I wonder if the burglar found what they were looking for. A used syringe? Well, that's exactly what we're looking for. This could have been used for the insulin injections. Which means Troy, our diabetic victim, might have used it, and his killer too. Let's send this to the lab immediately. I also wonder what's in this infirmary fridge. Maybe we should have a look at it. I can't believe you found a vial of EPO inside the infirmary fridge, Will. Surely this can't be part of the regular prescriptions. What's more, there was only one single vial. We better ask the university nurse, Mrs. Karima Breen, about this. You're right. And we also should take a closer look at this vial's label. I wonder what's this black smudge is. Great, let's send the sample to analysis. I'll bet this will answer some questions about the EPO vial you found in the infirmary fridge. Thank you so much for investigating the break-in in my infirmary, Major Will. I know how busy you must be. Mrs. Breen, Major Will found a bottle of EPO in your infirmary's fridge. Do you usually store such products? No, of course not. I only had the basics and whatever the students need on prescription. Some hormones, sure, but EPO definitely isn't part of the list. Pretty much the strongest thing I store here is my extra spicy hell sauce, and that's just for personal use. So are you telling us the burglar actually left something behind? Obviously, nothing's missing from my stocks. I'm used to stuff disappearing, but this I've never had before. Wait, do you mean your infirmary was burglarized before? Why didn't you report the thief? I assumed it had been one of the kids on the football team looking for a little boost. I didn't want them to get into trouble. Look, we all know doping is wrong, but I'd rather have the kids steal drugs from my infirmary than get good knows what on the black market. For someone whose doping is wrong, Nurse Breen sure doesn't seem to mind it that much. You're right, Will, we better keep an eye on her.
Well, the syringe you found in the infirmary is Troy Takeuchi's last insulin syringe. More precisely, the syringe is one of the killer used to administer EPO to Troy without his knowledge, but that's not all. I found traces of some type of hydrating sports drink on the syringe plunger. Wait, how do we know those were left by the killer and not by Troy? I'm glad you asked. The traces were left on the underside of the plunger's tip. The killer would uphold it with his fingers to withdraw the EPO from the vial. The victim, on the other hand, would only need to push on top of the plunger to inject himself with the syringe's contents. Well, that's pretty clever, Nathan. So our killer had some kind of sports drinks before touching the syringe. There are still a lot of blank spots in the investigation, Will. Yeah, I know. While Chad Baker is still taking his time at football practice, let's go have another look at the dorm he shared with the victim. Are you in, Will? That EPO vial you recovered from the infirmary was a great find, Will. The sample you gathered on the label is a mixture of paraffin wax, petroleum jelly, and black pigment. In short, black makeup. Football players wear it to reduce sun glare, and the supporters often wear it as a show of solitary. So this means that the killer left the makeup behind when they spiked Troy's syringe? Exactly, thanks to that vial you found, Will. I can tell you your killer wears black makeup. I know students are often careless with their stuff, but look at the cell phone. Did Chad and Troy use it as a football? This looks beyond repair, but I've said that in the past, and you prove me wrong every time, Will. And this pile of papers looks like it'll be worth a look too, don't you think? You never cease to amaze me, Will. This smartphone you found in Troy's room is completely functional again. It's also really pink. My super sleuthing senses tell me this phone doesn't belong to either of our roommates. Rats, the phone's data is encrypted. We're gonna need Alex's input if we want to get ahead with this lead. Let's have him analyze it. The sports magazine you found in that pile of papers is one of the most influential in sports, Will. The cover is really eye-catching. Bodecker versus Takiguchi. The rivalry that's got us excited for this college football season. Let's see what the article says. Page 34. While both are being considered for selection, Takiguchi is rumored to have a strong lead this season. This means Bodecker was in danger of being passed up for selection by his rival Troy Takiguchi, who also happens to be the victim. Amid allegations of steroid use, Bodecker, in spite of his great record, doping. Well, I think Thomas, the Armadillo's quarterback, might be a good talking to about these allegations. Don't you think, Will? You think I doped myself all because you really read it in some cheap rag? Come on, Major Will. I worked hard to be fit like this, and I'm proud of it. There's no pride in taking steroids. It's illegal, it's cheating, and it's low. It's everything I stand against. These rumors got spread around because it's the easiest way to destroy an honest player's career. If you're gonna play just to cheat, then it's no longer a sport you're playing. It's just make-believe. The most illegal thing I ever did was showing up at the Quails pregame cookout and stealing a couple hot wings. All in good fun though. They had a great Southern style hot sauce that they prepared the wings with. Not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. The smartphone you found in the victim's dorm room is Madison's. The encryption protocol on it was weak, so that didn't take long. What did take a while is browsing through Madison's photo library. She and her friends take a lot of pictures. Worthy of note for you, there's a picture of her out clubbing where she's been pouring huge amounts of hot sauce in her Bloody Mary. Also, she's received text messages from her friends informing her that Troy Takiguchi was messing around. Troy was cheating on her? We need to talk to Madison as soon as possible, Will. Dang. Madison's in the middle of cheer practice, but she looks about ready to take a break, Will. Shall we? Madison, wait, is that a sports drink you're drinking? Well, it'll be a shame not to. They're free. Simple sports drinks have a sponsoring partnership with the Quails. Why, is that suspicious, Major? Most of the players drink these, including Chad.
You might be happy to know I've seen Nurse Breen knock back a few balls too. That's very helpful, thank you. Now Madison, you want to break up with Troy, is that right? Oh, so you know about that then. Well, yes. When I realized that lying idiot was cheating on me, I told him it was over. And you know what? He had the gall to get mad at me, as if his sleeping around had been all my fault. But anyway, that's all over now. I just want to move on and let Troy rest in peace. A while later at the police station. Major Will, could I have a word with you, please? We're kind of in the middle of a criminal investigation, Mr. Caldwell. This had better be important. But it is. It's about Karima Breen. Nurse Breen, the woman in charge of the university's infirmary? The very same. The thing is, Nurse Breen has got a criminal record. What? I'll see you guys next time. I love you all. Get out.